Hello, everybody. I'm going with the Ducks.
Very simple. And the Harley. Oh, look at the love. Oh, no. Down there for
Oh, boy.
What's going on, Duck Nation, College Football Nation? This is UODuckBros back with another video. This is where the schedule gets a little bit more interesting. However, with UCLA coming into good old Autzen Stadium, and I'm not having homerism syndrome here, I really think that Oregon is going to blow them out of the water. I truly do. And Vegas agrees with me, by the way. And so far in the land of Oregon games, with the exception of one that I can think of, Oregon usually covers the spread in those. And the spread for this game is Oregon up by 23.5.
Which isn't very close.
No. There are a lot of reasons for that. The main reason being that UCLA did just lose to Stanford, and they got beat up in the process of that because they are now forced to start 3 true freshmen on the offensive line, and that is going to be a really, really bad thing for them.
Well, that and just the fact that, you kind of saw it even with Washington, where you go from one game to the next, where you just go from one tough team to the next, and it just can demoralize your team. You are emotionally spent, you're physically spent, and you really just don't get a break because there's no weak team in between. You go straight from Stanford right into Oregon, and then that's a tough schedule for anyone. Washington's already gone through it, and they know what it's all about, and they've lost 3 games in a row.
And it's another away game too.
Right.
So.
And they're, anybody that comes to Autzen is just an automatic loss. So, really, for the most part. Not all the time, but for the most part, it's
with the exception of a couple of games in the last couple of years.
And I know that this game presents a particular challenge in the fact that Brundley is absolutely a beast.
He's really good, but he is prone to turnovers. His touchdown to turnover ratio is 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but it's not great.
Nope.
And especially when you compare it to Marcus Mariota, who's got 19 touchdowns and no picks, and it's a little more daunting to look at.
Even Mariota's rush average per run. He's got 30 plus less attempts and still has like almost 300 more yards. So even the threat on the ground is more of a.
Not to mention he averages a first down every time he carries the ball.
Yeah, 10.1 yards per carry is pretty dang solid.
I mean, to put it in perspective, Marcus Mariota has more rush yards than UCLA's starting running back, who is questionable for this game, by the way. So just chalk that up in another set of problems that UCLA is going to have,
along with the freshmen that are on the line, on the offensive line. Yep.
The fact that their defensive backs are kind of suspect, and even Stanford was able to pass on him, and we saw what happened when they lost to good old Utah, when Kevin Hogan did nothing, pretty much.
Yep. And, more importantly, I think, than anything else, is the return of DeAnthony Thomas. And
yes, he is back.
I know that every Duck fan is like,
we are
just salivating.
Yeah, we are smitten by this. He could have played 2 weeks ago, but the fact is he didn't want to risk injuring himself the same way he did in the Cal game with something that's just a complete freak accident.
I think they'll probably cool it on the kickoff returns, and maybe just in this game at least just use him as the wide receiver / running back, just kind of move him all over the place. But there's just another reason why UCLA is going to have a real tough time covering not only Braylon and Josh, and then Mariota in the backfield with Thomas Tyner and Byron Marshall, but now you add DeAnthony Thomas to that mix, and we're not even talking about anybody else, but that's just hell on wheels. How are you going to even account for all that stuff?
Let's not get crazy here. Anthony Barr is a beast. That dude's definitely going to be playing on Sundays. There's no question.
Yeah, no question.
He's super good. Their front seven, UCLA's front seven, is a quality front seven, but after playing a game like they had to play against Stanford, where you guys are crunching each other every damn play, it wears you out. And now you have to go into another really hostile environment where Oregon's offense is it's going at full force as it is all the time. And you have to try to find a way to contain that. That's going to be hard. It really is, especially because you're going to have to try to match them for points. And so far what it looks like as of late is that the offense is Brett Hundley, and Brett Hundley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not a lot of other stuff going on there. The running game isn't great looking. The passing game, it's not bad, but it's not great because it doesn't really have the same type of playmakers on offense that Oregon has. So
that, and I just think the amount of competition from what they've been seeing so far to what they're going to see in our secondary is going to be exponentially harder. And I don't think that they're going to get beat deep like they've been beating other teams deep. And I just think that with the way that our defense has been playing to this point, I think it's going to be a really, really difficult time for Brett Hundley to really have a lot of time to sit back there and wait for things to open up or to manipulate the safeties and that kind of stuff. I think we're going to get a lot of pressure, and it's going to force him to make some bad decisions. I think that's where Oregon's going to capitalize and really make a difference is those turnovers. We've averaged almost 3 turnovers a game since 2010. We've had 120 turnovers,
which is 10 more than anybody else in all of college football.
That's a crazy statistic when a lot of people seem to think that Oregon's just only about the offense. We definitely are very, very astute on the defensive side of the ball as well. So
really quick, let's just get this out of the way because I know at least one UCLA fan's going to throw this out there. Well, in the last game against lowly Washington State, you guys gave up 557 passing yards. Yes, we did. But I guarantee you, with every material possession that I own right now,
isn't a lot.
Which isn't a ton, but there's more than what some other people have in the world. I guarantee you that UCLA's defense would probably have given up numbers very similar to that because that's 3 games worth of coverage for your secondary. They're gonna get their yards. That's what the air raid's all about. I mean, I know they can't run the ball. I know that Washington State couldn't run the ball worth a squirt of piss, but it's gonna happen. That's how that offense is constructed.
Well, but consider this too. Oregon gets everybody's best game every single week,
and then some.
So, I've watched Washington State play the entire year, off and on, and they didn't look anywhere as good
until
that game.
So here's the other thing, too, is that do you honestly think that Oregon's defense isn't pissed about that?
And Alioti isn't pissed about that?
We already know that Alioti is pissed about that.
Right, but,
So do you think that they haven't been practicing extra hard all week to make sure that doesn't happen again? Especially on our own home turf.
And it won't happen.
It's not going to. Especially at the rate that Hundley turns the ball over. I mean, he is still a young quarterback. And quarterbacks do make mistakes, unless you're Marcus Mariota, who doesn't do that
at all.
Yeah, I know. So this is going to be the kind of game, I feel like, where it's going to be close through the first quarter, because it's going to be, feeling each other out, whatever. But once Oregon gets their feet set, they're just going to take off going. I think that after a certain point, UCLA's defense is just not going to be able to stop the potent run game that has now kind of decided to be what we thought it was going to be.
Yep.
And I really think it's going to be hard for them to contain Mariota because there's too much you have to consider with that. Is he going to run for 10 yards like he does every time he runs the ball? Is he going to pass the ball for over 10 yards every time he throws the ball? And where is it going to happen? Is it going to be over the top? Is it going to be intermediate? I mean, there's way too many factors into this that you have to account for, and that's going to totally wear out the defense. And I really think that Oregon will cover the spread in this game, and maybe more.
Maybe more than that.
It realistically could happen. Now, can Oregon lose this game?
Absolutely.
Of course they can. UCLA is still a quality team. They're very good, but I think that just the way that the scheduling plays into this, because they had to play Stanford the week before this, I really think is going to it mess with their psyche, especially because they didn't win the game. Had they won the game, I would be absolutely way more worried about this. But that wasn't the case. They got dominated up front by Stanford.
Yep.
And they got worn down. I mean, those are not easy games to play. Stanford's hard for everybody, unless it's Utah, apparently, which is weird.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't see a lot of areas, unless Oregon turns the ball over a lot of times, which realistically doesn't happen very much. I really don't see it happening. I really don't.
So, now that we've kind of covered all that stuff, what is the score prediction for you going to be?
Oh, I get to go first, huh?
Yeah, you're going first.
Oh, God, I hate going first. So, hey, Jonathan Stewart. Hey, Oregon player. Not playing.
All right. Well, Kenyon Barner's playing.
Yeah, Barner's playing right now.
Yep.
It's weird that they're on the same team, by the way. So, my score prediction, I think that Oregon is going to manage in this game. So I think that after halftime, once they lay in those magical halftime adjustments, that apparently it's not all just Chip doing that, because apparently when Helfrich does it too, it's just ridiculous. And everybody in there, by the way.
Right.
I think that they're going to score over 50 points.
So what is it?
I'm calling 52. I'm going to call 52-27. I do think that UCLA is going to get some points on the board. I think that they're too talented not to. And as it always happens, I think that they're going to get some type of touchdown in garbage time, just like everybody else seems to get these days. So, I mean, it might look a little inflated, but that's going to be what it is. So, 52-20, what did I say, 7?
Mm-hmm.
8? 7. 7, yeah. So, what do you got?
I think it's going to be 47-20.
47-20?
47-20 Oregon.
Hey, that's still covering the spread.
And I feel like, it's going to mostly come in the second half when we, turn the corner.
It's that third quarter thing, man. Oregon's a third quarter team all the way.
I just feel like, it's just going to be one of those kind of cruise control games. You can breathe easy, have a beer, eat some food. Because the first couple quarters are usually the most anxiety-ridden for me. I can't eat really anything.
No kidding. My God.
So I feel like the second half is going to be a breathe easy time. It'll be put away. And then we can start to look forward to the next game after that. But until then, of course, we'll have to let the game play itself out. Mm-hmm. But I think that covers everything, doesn't it?
Yeah,
so we would like to always thank you guys for watching. Look forward to the game. Have fun, everybody. Stay safe. And as always, go Ducks!
We'll see you for the recap. UCLA sucks.